Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to obviously be this epic mermaid look. This isn't just any mermaid look. If a mermaid, a princess, an alien, and a showgirl all had a baby, this is what you'd get. Anyway guys, this is a super fun tutorial. If you've ever wanted to transform into a mermaid or just want to watch somebody else spend all this time doing it, then this is definitely your video. If you like the tiara that I'm wearing in this video, I'm going to try to put together a very quick DIY of exactly how I put this together, all from items that I found at Walmart for less than $20. And if you decide to try any of the elements from this video for your Halloween look, please be sure to tag me in your looks on Instagram at crystalhoytbeauty and let me know how it worked out for you. Anyway guys, I hope you all have a happy Halloween and I hope to see you back soon. Let's get to the tutorial. I'm beginning with a demi matte medium coverage foundation. I'm blending this all over the lower half of my face using my Sonic Blend foundation brush. I'm going to carry this down onto my neck. I'm not going to be taking this onto the upper eye area or the forehead, and you'll see why when we get to that specific area. I'm going to be using something different to cover and to brighten. I'm using the Mehron Clown White Light. I'm going to be avoiding my eyebrows. I'm using a flat synthetic brush and just tapping this all over. I like this one because it's a little bit more sheer, so I can build the coverage of the white. It's not quite as opaque when you first put it on, but you can build it up to be more opaque if you choose. Now I'm going to be covering up my eyebrows. You can do this look without covering the brows. I just thought it looked really cool and more alien-esque to cover them. So I'm beginning with the old glue stick trick. I'm brushing the brows up and then taking my glue stick over the brows, working in an upward fashion. Now, as you can see, I do not have a lot of brows, so this process for me is a little less labor intensive, but if you have really thick brows, I'm going to link a video below that goes over this in a little bit more detail for someone who really has to work a little harder to cover their brows, such as a drag fashion. So there's a great video I'm going to link down below. You can follow that goes into more explicit detail. Here I'm using a little bit of water on my finger to smooth out the edges of the glue, and then I'm going to let that set and dry. I'm going to go back off camera and do this whole process 2 more times when I'm through here, but what you can see here is I'm taking some loose powder and I'm setting that glue stick really well, and then I'm going to go back 2 more times and repeat this process so that I've already done that there. I'm using a Q-tip here with a little more water just to really smooth out those edges to make sure I don't have any ripples and bumps from the glue and the powder. And then I'm going to add the cream white makeup over the brows now that they're completely covered. I'm going to layer this on with a brush, and then I'm going to go back in with a very, very lightly dampened beauty blender. I'm going to press that out to blend this. I'm also using the cream white here as my eyeshadow base before I apply anything else to the lids. I'm applying a little more of the white here so that it really makes the colors pop around the eyes. Next, I'm going to be taking a little bit of that same white, just tapping this to highlight along the sides of my neck, the collarbone, my shoulders, adding a little dimension to the skin of my body so I can add some colors there later as well to blend into some of the same shades I'm working with on my face. Next, I'm using the Wet n Wild Metallic Liquid Eyeshadows from the Midnight Mermaid collection. I'm starting with the metallic green here. I rolled a little bit out on my hand, and I'm using a flat edge brush to start sculpting out some lines on the side of my nose, and then I'm carrying this up at an angle to the outside corners above my temple. I'm going to spread this out and layer it a little bit more so I can get that really metallic green shade, and then using my finger I'm just blending out my edges. I'm also going to carry up a line here from the side of my eye into my hairline. If you're wearing your own hair and not wearing a wig, I would recommend carrying this all the way into your hair so it blends out. I'm going to be wearing a wig, so I'm just carrying it right up to the edge of my hair. I'm blending out my edges here to deepen just a bit. Now I'm switching to that dark purple tone from this collection as well, and I'm going to be taking this across the center of my forehead, blending just like a quarter of the way down. And then I'm also going to be using this as a deeper shadow base. As you can see, that white makeup is not going to work exactly like a shadow base. It will still crease a little bit, so you want to make sure and go back over that either with an eyeshadow base or with a liquid eyeshadow or something like this that is more long wearing and will not crease. I'm winging out the outside corner of that and blending it with my finger just just a little bit, just to make sure it's nice and smooth. And then I'm going back in with that dark green around my hairline again, just to deepen right where my hair meets the skin, so it looks a little bit darker under my wig there. I'm going to be going in now with a couple of shades of the Jumbo Eye Pencil from NYX. These are creamy, so it's going to give me a little more dimension right on the forehead. I'm going to start down the center, and you can just use one shade here. I'm going to be using two, but you could just use a blue or a green or whatever colors tickle your fancy for this look. I like to see a couple of different shades peeking through the scales that I'm going to be creating on the forehead, so I'm just blending that out with my finger into that darker shade, and then using a brush fine-tuning where those lines meet. I'm going in here with more of a bold green, taking that just down to the eyebrows, and I'm going to be doing the same process here using a small synthetic brush just to blend out all of my edges. Now you're going to want to grab a pair of fishnet pantyhose. I'm using a really wide gauge fishnet, and I like to get the thigh highs that do not have a band across the top, so you don't have to cut them and you're not just trying to hold a piece on. You can actually stretch them right over your head, and they fit beautifully and relatively comfortably. If you use a smaller gauge fishnet, you're going to see that they look a little more fish scale-like. These look a little bit more alien-esque-like, which is the look I was going for, so that's really up to you. I'm using a bright purple matte shadow that I'm going to be pressing on with a coarse eyeshadow brush, and I'm tapping that on, not dusting it. I really want to pack that on about halfway down the forehead. Now I'm going to be switching, using the same brush, just cleaned it in between, and using a bright pink shade. If you don't have time to order this Morphe palette that I'm using, I know that NYX has a great, really bright eyeshadow palette in their Ultimate collection right now that has some similar shades that would work perfect for this too. Switching here to a light pink shadow, and I'm taking this down the rest of the forehead, so this is going to get a nice gradient look from purple to light pink going down onto the nose, and then just kind of buffing and blending those out. Now using the same brush, I'm going to be switching to this bright blue, and then I'm going to be taking that on the other sides of the lines that are drawn on the outside corners above my eyes. I'm going to be working this shade all the way down to my eyebrows. And you can use any combination of colors. These are just the colors that I've chosen to create this look with, but you can choose any colors that work with your specific costume or wig or tiara or anything else that you're using. Here I'm taking a mixture of the purple and the pink and the blue and just kind of haphazardly carrying this down onto the neck in a more random fashion to give a little bit of the scale look on the neck, and I'm going to be carrying some more of those colors down onto the rest of the body. I'm pulling the fishnet away from my face so that it doesn't move the eyeshadows there, and removing the fishnets. And now I'm going back with a clean brush and just buffing out my edges so none of the edges here look sharp where I've stopped those other colors around the eye. And I'm going to be just kind of buffing and blending out any sharper edges. Now I'm going back to that bright pink with a smaller crease brush, and I'm tapping this in all around the crease. I'm not being as specific with this as if I were doing like a normal eyeshadow look. I'm just taking a good bit of that pink right onto the crease, blending that out just a little bit, and then I'm going to switch brushes later and buff that out. I'm taking that bright purple down onto my eyelid and tapping that right on top of that more sparkly shadow. And then going back with a fluff brush, I'm just going to be blending out my edges there so they kind of fade into each other with the blue shadow. Here I have a little bit of the blue, the pink, and the purple, just a little bit of each on my brush, and I'm just taking this right under the outside corner of my eye and then sweeping this in a downward fashion towards the outside of my cheek and just pulling that down just a little bit to shade there, and you'll see why shortly. Now I'm going back to that bright pink again, and I'm taking this onto my collarbones with a regular foundation brush. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to be going over this with some other stuff later. I'm using a metallic blue liquid eyeliner and creating from underneath my lashes the shape of a fishtail on the outside corner of the eye. And then coming in again from the bottom lashes, I'm going to come in and make a little point sweeping down towards my nose from this inside corner of the eye with the same color. Now switching to a dark metallic purple, I am going to line the top lashes with the same type of liner, but I'm going to connect my line here to the line that I've already created leading up from the outside corner of my eye. And now it's finally time to talk about glitter. I actually found these great chunky glitters in a set at the craft department in Walmart, and they look perfect for a mermaid look. So I'm going to be applying them with glitter glue from Too Faced. I'm taking the glitter glue all underneath the eye area where I want to focus the glitter. And then I'm cleaning my brush, dampening it with a little bit of water to help pick up the glitter for the application, and then tapping that glitter on top of the glitter glue. You want to work quickly with this because your glitter glue will dry and you'll have to reapply and it can look a little chunky. I'm carrying that down the cheek just a little bit, following the line of that wing that I've originally created. I'm repeating this process on top, starting on the outside corner with the darker blue, and then I went back in with the pink on the inside corner of the eye. Now I'm taking just my glue stick that I used earlier, and I'm just taking this all over the body and then tapping glitter on top of the areas where I've already applied a little bit of eyeshadow, which is why I said it didn't really matter if the eyeshadow was perfectly blended, and you can just tap this on wherever you want and go crazy. Now I'm going to be using the highlighting bar from the Mermaid collection from Wet n Wild. This is kind of a goldish green tone. It's really a cool highlighter, perfect for these looks. I'm taking it on the top of my cheekbones, my nose, a little bit on the top of my lip, and then going back with a buffing brush and just buffing out my edges there. I'm going to be using eyeshadow on my cheeks now, starting with that light pink. I'm going to go right on the apples of my cheeks, sweeping back towards my hairline, and then I'm going to switch to that same purple that I used earlier for shadows on the forehead and on the eyes. Using that dark purple there, I'm going to be taking that to kind of sweep and contour the shape of my cheekbone back towards my hairline. And if that's not dramatic enough for you, do like I did and apply some crystals with eyelash glue and tweezers, following the shape of the original lines that I had created. And then I'm going in with mascara to just coat my natural lashes on the top. I'm going to repeat that on the bottom, but first I'm going to apply a blue-green pencil to my bottom waterline to just completely wipe out that waterline before applying that extra coat of mascara on the bottom. And of course, this eye is going to require some serious eyelashes. These are just some of the fun Halloween sets that you can pick up this time of year at just about any drugstore. This one has a set for top and bottom for the eyes. So I applied it, of course, on top and bottom. And now I'm ready to move on to the lips. I'm actually using a deep eggplant waterproof eyeliner here, and I'm just lightly lining the outside of my lip line. And then I'm going to fill in almost the entire lip with pencil. This is going to work as a great base to create a gradient look to the lip, but also to really help hold on that lip color all night. I'm going to be using a cream lip color from Too Faced. This is actually a really bright pinky purple that works perfect with this look. It's called Melted Rainbow. I'm using a lip brush here just to blend everything out into that pencil. And then I'm going back in with a little bit of that purple shadow just around the edges to make sure it really complements the colors I already have going on my face and body. I'm using a little bit of eyelash glue here and then adhering the pink glitter that is on the center of my eyelids to the center of my lips. And that is going to complete this mermaid look. Now you're ready to throw on your costume, wig, tiara, whatever you feel like to create the rest of your mermaid look, and you are ready for Halloween. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and everyone have a very safe and happy Halloween.